Glad I made it back up that hill, but now it's time to talk about slopes. I hope that you are just as excited as I am.
In math, slope is usually found in linear equations. In the real world, it can be found in the design of a roof, of a house, everyday objects like ladders and chairs, and then also everywhere in nature. Alright, so let's write the title of today's work, which is graphing. You can draw a little graph. Linear. And we want to focus on the root line there. So this is what it's going to look like on our graph. And then equations, which means that we're going to set these two expressions equal to each other. So that will be the first example. Before we start work on our example, we've got to go over the standard form of a linear equation. It's written y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Now this is a critical thing to know. So first we're going to talk about the slope m. So we'll write that at the top of this graph. Now picture yourself as a little person walking along this graph. Now you're walking from left to right, and if you walk up a hill, then your slope is going to be positive. If you walk down a hill, then your slope is going to be negative. Slope is calculated as a fraction, most memorably as rise over run, which means the change in the y value divided by the change in the x value. More on this in a minute. But now we need to start talking about the y-intercept, or the b in the equation y equals mx plus b. So we're going to label our y-axis on a graph, and we're going to label our x-axis. As our line goes from one quadrant of the graph to the other, just like when you're throwing a football and it gets intercepted on its way to its target, this point where the line crosses the y-axis is called the y-intercept. Remember that. Alright, here we go. Example 1. Y equals 2x minus 2. So, in the form y equals mx plus b, we've got to just decide now what the m is. Now look, the m is always going to be the coefficient of the x, the number in front of the x. So in this case it is 2. We want to write this as a fraction to think of it as rise over run. So we're going to write 2 over 1. Now let's label the b, or the y-intercept. So that's going to be the constant by itself, the negative 2. Don't forget the sign that goes with it. Moving on to the best part ever, graphing. Now that we've labeled the m and the b, we can move on to graphing, which will be the final thing we've got to do today. So we're going to deal with the b first. Negative 2 is b, so you're going to go down 2 on the y-axis and make a point. Now that's where we're going to start our graph. Now we're going to use the slope to make the other points. So you want to rewrite the 2 for the m in a fraction form, which is 2 over 1. Rise 2, so you're going to go up 1, 2, right 1. Now these other points that we've made have both been in the positive direction. We've been going up and to the right. So we've been taking care of the positive over positive slope. But a negative over a negative can also give you a positive. So what if we did 2 negative moves? We could go down 2, left 1, make a mark. We could go down 2, left 1 if we wanted to again, make another point. So those points, all stemming from our initial y-intercept, form our line y equals 2x minus 2.
Alright everybody, well that concludes our video for today. I hope that you got at least 1% better, because if you did, you are well on your way to becoming 100% better than where you were yesterday. Have a great day, and please don't forget how incredibly awesome and useful mathematics is in your real life, no matter how much you like it.
Alright, go ahead.
Slopes
We really need to talk about him today.